All right, I want to go over the things that I found that are problems real quick on camera. That way we don't have to go up front and talk over the dogs. This camera is just for our evidence purposes, so that there's no issues and everything that I went over everything. The 5 horses. The only problem I see with any of the horses is feet on Leo need to be trimmed up. Okay, health-wise, they all look good. I see that you got the grain for the horses in here. They've got adequate water, they've got adequate shade, and they're separated in 3 different pastures, which is good. I have absolutely no problems with what you're doing with the horses. All of the dogs outside, they all need to make sure that they have drinking water available all the time, especially during the summertime when they're outside. They all need to have shelter available to them, okay? Since they're outside, the fresh air and everything, you don't put them in kennels or anything outside, right? Okay, so the ones outside I don't have any problems with, and that's where the vast majority of them are. The problems that you have are when your kennels inside the house. That one that, as we walked in through the front door, I addressed with you, that was too small. That was too small. Okay, in those kennels, the dog has to be able to stand up fully without being hunched over, has to be able to turn around and lay back down, and also be able to lay back down to where if it has an accident in the cage, it doesn't have to lay right in it. And then when it lays down, it has to be able to stretch out. You know how dogs lay down, they like stretching their bones and muscles out? They have to be able to do that. The other issue is that you had kennels stacked on top of kennels. That's unacceptable, okay? Unless you have an appropriate kennel system set up, like a steel shoreline cage, where all the feces and everything is definitely contained into it and can't go anywhere, that's fine. But the way you have it set up, the urine and the feces can leak out, go down to the other dog and cause some health issues, okay? So you need to correct that. You need to make sure. I didn't see any feces or urine built up in any of them, so that's good. Keep them cleaned up. The other issue is the clutter, the cobwebs, and the lack of recirculating air because you don't have air conditioning are my 3 issues. So you need to get a broom and clean up all those cobwebs all over the place. Keep the floor swept up nice and clean. Open up some windows so there's some circulating air for the dogs so they don't get any upper respiratory infections and things like that. But all in all, everything seems to be fine. I didn't see any unhealthy dogs. I didn't see any upper respiratory infections.
Respiratory infection.
I didn't see any dogs that had any that were skinny or anything like that due to malnutrition. Everything appears to be really well fed and everything. So I don't see any issues. It's just everything's just, you've just got so many animals, it's just going to take a lot of upkeep on your part, particularly inside the house. Okay, my recommendation is if you've got so many dogs outside, why not just put them all outside? Okay, and to make sure they all have shelter. Well, you live in an agriculturally zoned area. Okay, so there is no barking laws in an agriculturally zoned area.
Say that again?
There's no barking laws, no barking ordinance in an agriculturally zoned area. So they can complain all they want, but the whole point of having agricultural land is so that you could have farm animals and multiple animals that make noise.
Okay, now let me clarify this.
It's in our law book. I mean, I don't know why people think.
Okay, because the lady across the street through the years has complained about barking, and I have had animal control come out about barking.
Well, we'll come out and talk to you to see if we can help, because we're going to help our citizens out who are having a problem. But those people need to understand that when they come out into an agriculturally zoned area, that's what they're going to have to accept. They're going to hear noise from animals. That's the whole point of it.
Okay.
You know, the law does not specify that it's a violation for agriculturally zoned land.
That's why they're in the house.
Yeah, no, you can let them out. You know that you've already got about 60 of them outside now. What's the difference between adding another 10 dogs? The barking is not going to become so ridiculous with another 10 dogs adding to 60.
Well, some of the ones in the house do nothing but.
Well, yeah, you want to be neighborly and help keep your neighbors, happy and everything, and not make it ridiculous for them. So yeah, I'm sure they appreciate you helping them keeping it down. Yeah, just the inside of the house. It's just really stale and stagnant. There's no circulating air. I mean, it's really a mess in there,
Well, I lost 2 storage units.
Yeah.
And had to move everything back into the house, and we're trying to go through it, box at a time when we get time.
Okay. I mean, all the junk that's in there, your furniture and all that stuff, there's not really a law against all of that. But the circulating air, cages stacked on top of each other, any type of feces buildup, water needs to be provided for them because it's hot in there. You don't have any air conditioning. Those things need to be there, okay? And that's that fine line that you're toting on whether you're neglecting the animals or being cruel to the animals and providing them with with sustenance and
The
sufficient.
problem with water is the first thing they do if you put a dish of water in there is go.
And then they tip it over. Right.
No.
And then it's going to spill out of there, and then it's going to drip down and go beneath to the dog down below, and then you're going to start getting mold issues and everything. So it becomes a nightmare health-wise for the dogs, okay? So it's just not a good thing to do to set it up like that. I would completely clean out that room, take everything out of there, clean it up. If that's going to be your kennel area, get it cleaned up, and then single stack those things, okay? And then put your dogs in there. Keep it clean. You know, if you keep up with it, it's not going to get it out of control like it is now. I mean, there's no feces in there, and it's not bad. I've definitely seen worse, but it's just it's cluttered, it's junky, it does stink in there, and that needs to be addressed. Okay. So other than that, I don't see any other issues. Your dogs are healthy. You've got all your shots and tags current on every single dog except for the puppies.
Well, I have the one black ones in that side pen to the side of the house. They need to be done. The problem is the shop clinic is now on the same Saturday that I work.
Yeah.
So I might have to take an hour or so off and go in and do it. But they're like 4.5 months, coming on 5, so they're due for their rabies.
Okay.
But everybody else has a tag and a register.
Now your population of dogs seems to be growing. At what point are you going to cut it off and not let it continue to grow? What do you have right now? I counted 68 dogs.
There should be, I just wrote it all down. 7 with the new puppy, 73.
73? Okay. What is the maximum that you're going to get to before you realize you might have too many dogs?
It depends on the day.
Depends
on the day. Some days one is too many.
Yeah, I understand that. Because I mean, 73 dogs is an awful lot of dogs. That's a lot of dogs. Now, you're feeding them good. Yeah, they appear healthy and everything. And like I said, my only concern is the living conditions. They've got to be kept up. And if you keep them up, like I've explained to you to keep it up, you know, then there shouldn't be any issues. But I just don't want you to burden yourself financially with the food, having to feed them all the time, water them all the time. You know, because if we come out here one day and all those dogs are outside and there's no water for them, that's a violation. You know,
outside dogs have no problem with water.
Okay. I just don't want there to be any issues. You know. Okay. Well, other than that, like I said, the horses are fine. The dogs, health-wise, are fine. The only problem I had is the inside of the house. It just needs to be cleaned up. If you're going to use that as a kennel, just get it cleaned up and looking pretty. Alrighty.
So now I appreciate the barking information.
Yeah, no problem at all. Happens to rain and you're taking a nap or something.
Oh, see, there's no door on the porch.
Right, but it's not big enough. You know, they're gonna.
Well, Joe, it's not big enough. About 11 o'clock.
That's fine. They may all go there, right, but you have to provide adequate
as long as
shelter.
It's provided.
It's not adequate shelter.
If they don't use it, that's their choice. But by law, you have to provide it.
Okay. Well, by 11 o'clock today, these dogs were plastered on that screen door going, "Let me in, let me in."
Okay.
They don't like to be outside.
So the farrier, the shelter, and cleaning that area out that the dogs are going to be kept.
Snuckers.
So that it's and then, you know, maybe opening a door or something like that to get some air. I mean, another door so there's a cross, so it's getting things in and out.
That door's open.
Okay.
Well, usually the one door that we went out in is not open because I don't have a screen for it.
Right. What is that a window or a sliding glass door that's in that one room where all the kennels are?
Sliding glass door.
Yeah, that would be a good one to open.
It is.
It is open?
It is open.
It looked closed to me.
The screen gets dusty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that.
It's a problem with living on a dirt road.
Yeah, getting those kennels stacked off of each other. You may have to utilize more space, another room or something like that. Maybe cleaning out that front living room area that basically you can't do anything with. Stores. That one actually, if you cleaned out this front porch right here and you cleaned out that front living room, that would actually be perfect. Because then you could get all of these dogs to be able to get onto that front porch for shelter. And then
I don't normally leave, but maybe 6 out front in the hall.
Yeah.
And they mainly stay out here because they jumped the fence and decide they want to live out here. But otherwise, I don't leave many out front. One, everybody goes by barked at, so they bark worse. We've also had kids go by and tease them. So
yeah, that'll happen.
We are looking at a 6-foot